up the property where we are now and possibilities of doing that. Mr. Jarvis was involved, Tex was involved with the design and everything. Mr. Hammett was on the council. I was on the council when we were originally, Mr. Washington was, when we purchased the property and drew the first set of plans. It had a conglomerate of stuff in there. Tennis courts, basketball courts, it had everything drawn in there. Then when Mr. Hammett, in the administration he was in, when they got a hold of it, decided to get down to the nitty-gritty of it, went to a different engineering firm, architectural firm, used some of the stuff that we had, threw some of it out, and then came up with the three clusters in there to eventually have. And what we have learned so far with the 5-cluster field that was built was there's not enough parking. We're out in fields, we're parking out in fields for the different tournaments and opening days and just different times. There's just not adequate parking out there. So I asked Mr. Jarvis, I had the opportunity to meet with Mike and Ken and his board the other night, and I thought we had a real interesting conversation. They asked a lot of questions, and I didn't have all the answers to them, but I told them that I would pursue and try to find as many answers as I can find. So I went to Mr. Jarvis, and he had the original plans and everything, and asked him to determine how much vacant space that could be used for soccer in the complex, being in a flood area. And that's what we have out there. And I didn't realize, and I've been all over that place, but I never realized in the last couple of days how many retention ponds are out there. And there's going to be even more retention ponds out there as you continue to build and do what was done to elevate your buildings and things up out of the flood zone. So I asked Mr. Jarvis, and I promised the soccer people that we would have some type of layout for them to see if what they are desiring to do. In my meetings with them, first of all, I was told we need 6 fields. Well, I didn't know the size of the fields, but they did email me the sizes of fields. And then I think one comment was, 6 fields is not enough. If we're going to grow this soccer program, we're going to eventually need more fields than this. So Mr. Jarvis has taken it, and he has something to present to all of you that would be about the space.
Copies of this drawing, and I'll put one. No, that's the original. Slide that down. This is the pod that's built down here. This is the big pod here, added the parking. This parking is about 1,000 parking spaces. This is set up based on this configuration. Here's the configuration of the fields. All of these, if you'll look, you'll see 3 rectangular areas, 210 by 360. Oh, I'm sorry.
Is that in the lower levels?
Oh, no, it's on the, yeah, those small ones are the, that's the size. But if you can go, the reason I brought this, you can go with any configuration of small fields to high school fields, where you just got one single field with these. And that's what this is 1, this is 2, this is 6. So you've got
Reconfiguration of a bigger field into subset fields for smaller children.
The right, one of the problems that I ran into, you don't have like 6 acres, you don't have 6 to 10 acres all together, so you have to scatter them out. I don't really like this one up here, this is more along the right configuration, but, and I didn't know if you might have a concession stand later here, which might not be as elaborate as this one. And here's the bed. And this is an existing pond, and it's in the way. You know, you can't put anything there, and then you got ravines over here, you can't put anything in those areas. Oh, you could with a smaller, like another 1 or 2 rooms. But now I'm going to need to probably expand this detention area here. I may have to use that area, I may have to use this area. No, these are just like picnic tables.
Larry, are you talking about adding more bathrooms at a concession stand to go with these things?
That'd be up to the soccer.
Well, they need a concession stand and they need bathrooms. This ain't gonna work.
If you do that, you're gonna have to elevate to elevation 177. just like
You're gonna either be putting porta potties out here, or you're gonna be putting bathrooms.
Oh, I agree.
You gotta have the facilities
And
to
we don't want
accommodate.
that.
You don't want, no.
We need
You
bathrooms and
need those facilities, elderly people not gonna walk.
We already have complaints on Spur Field for not enough bathrooms, and the concession stand so small, so
That's right.
if you don't do that, you got to.
That's about it.
Did you draw any parking at all for soccer?
Not really, I just got as much parking on that pod, the central pod as I could. That's about 1,000 spaces.
I've asked this question before, what is the soccer association?
We start September and November. We then start again in March and in first week of school.
Softball and softball and.
There is some.
Just right here.
These bays here and this bay right here. I mean, just.
My question to City Council and the mayor is, where we are now, we stay there, there's not enough room for parking and play. There's not. Right. You know, if we put parking at one end of the field, you're gonna have grandma and grandpa walk all the way through all the fields.
How would we solve the problem of tournament play of softball and playing on the weekend soccer?
I don't know.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
I understand that's a problem, but
We play our games from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock on Saturday mornings. Now, we could accommodate to where it was in the evening if there was lighting. I don't know.
but what you've got here is all of this future,
Right.
this is another future softball. Was this for children or is this for like adults?
It's adult, but Wayne, didn't you say that is high school, where you can get into the high school tournaments?
This is another.
Just make it universal where you can do it for both of them.
This is big enough.
Larry, have you looked at the 10 acres they have and how many fields can you get out of that?
No,
Considering
not.
parking, concession stand and bathrooms.
No, I've not looked at that. This is the only thing.
The only thing that's been looked at out there after their last meeting here was Larry went out there and looked, because there's a drainage ditch that comes all the way across that property that does not allow them to utilize the complete property. And he did come back and with a suggestion or an idea of how to reroute the water to the main ditch